Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Newsgram. Today's show is dedicated to anyone born between the years 1946 and 1964. That makes you a baby boomer. And I want to direct your attention to a recent Forbes article. It was titled, "Baby Boomers Are Leaving the Workforce to Live Their Best Lives in a Silver Tsunami. Great Retirement Trend." And the article states that in the third quarter of 2020, nearly 30 million baby boomers left the job market and retired. The following year, the numbers actually increased. Now, that's not to say that many of them aren't coming back, because I certainly hope they do. The world can use their wisdom. But whether they left in an attempt to reevaluate their circumstances or they were forced into early retirement, there are a lot of people out there looking for something to do. Start a business? Travel? I don't know. The sky's the limit, and the world is your oyster, as they say, when you find yourself, as Sue Dawson likes to put it, pensioned off.
Yeah.
She's the author of a new book called Pensioned Off, Baby Boomers Out to Pasture. And she calls it feel-good fiction because it's a story about a year in the life of a group of newly retired baby boomers looking to do something with their newly found freedom.
Right. Well, they're just mostly ordinary people living in Auckland, New Zealand. And gradually they meet each other and form this ukulele band called the Pensionaries.
They're all drawn together by a love of music, and they form a traveling ukulele band. And it was that line that drew me to the book, because you don't really hear that very often. I wonder what it's like backstage with a group of ukulele musicians.
I wondered if I'd be able to make an interesting story about ukulele players, because they're not like guitar players. Guitar players, you can bring in the substance abuse and the groupie groping and all that sort of thing and make quite an exciting story, whereas the ukulele scene is pretty clean. But I hope I've managed to make it interesting.
Just pulling these two groups together is pretty exciting for me. I mean, what do you get when you combine a group of newly retired ukulele musicians and you send them on the road in Auckland, New Zealand? I don't really know, but I do kind of want to find out.
It could be even partly senior rom-com. There's a little bit of a romantic thing happening there.
Even better.
Because there's not really much written about that stage of life. I mean, there's a whole subgenre of the next stage of sort of shenanigans in nursing homes. There's quite a few novels written on those sort of things, but there's not much written about the newly retired. So I thought, well, there's something. And there's also not much written about ukulele players.
There really isn't, although there are a lot of great ukulele players out there. And the first one that comes to mind, forgive me if I slaughter his name, but it's Kamaka Vavole, the Hawaiian ukulele player that did such a masterful job on Somewhere Over the Rainbow. God rest his soul. And it's become kind of a fun instrument for people like Eddie Vedder and Taylor Swift to play. Anyway, the group in Pensioned Off got together with a singular focus.
They sort of want to go around nursing homes and sing to old people. They don't think they're old.
You're only as old as you feel. But anyway, that is not what ends up happening. They form the ukulele group, and it ends up transforming their lives.
There's quite a few characters. At the beginning, I didn't intend on having so many, but they just all popped out. So they've got their own little lives happening, all their little side streams happening. So quite a bit goes on in the book, but it is a gentle story. Hopefully people will find it humorous and entertaining. I mean, there's serious themes running through there as well. It's not all fun and frolics, but it's basically a gentle story.
New Zealand is so scenic and picturesque. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind was Lord of the Rings, and this is not that. So I thought it was pretty cool that this story was set in Auckland.
I mean, so many books are set in like London or New York or whatever, but I thought I'd set this one in Auckland, which is New Zealand's biggest city. I thought it would give the characters more scope to develop their music journey.
Well, then let the journey begin. Pensioned Off, Baby Boomers Out to Pasture by Sue Dawson. It's available right now at barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com, and all the other places you like to shop for books. Or you could just Google Pensioned Off, and it should come right up for you. And that will do it for this edition of Newsgram from webtalkradio.com.